Hey everyone, today for art class we're going to make a paper mache ghost, a really cool Halloween decoration. So what is paper mache? Paper mache is an art technique using paper and paste to make objects. Moistened paper is layered and left to dry, which creates the shapes it is layered on, like a balloon. When dry, the hard surface can be painted and or decorated in unlimited ways. Here's all the supplies you'll need for the project. It's a lot, so let's break it down. White liquid glue, newspaper, black paint, white paint, two paintbrushes, one to paint the head of the ghost and one for detail work of the mouth and eyes, a fork, some scissors, a balloon, white party streamers, some string, some ribbon, a bowl for a base, a plate to put your paint on, a bowl for mixing paste, a cup of water, a cup of flour, and half a tablespoon of salt. I know that was fast, so you can pause the video and see the entire list of supplies needed here. The first thing I need to do is cut strips of newspaper. I'm going to open my newspaper to the middle and lay it flat. This way I can cut multiple sheets at a time, but it's not too many sheets. I'm then going to cut about a 1-inch strip all the way up the paper. They don't have to be perfect, so don't worry if your cutting is a little wavy. Once I've cut the entire length of the newspaper, I'm then going to cut that long strip in half. This will give me about an 8-inch long section. And since I cut multiple sheets at a time, I already have several strips done. Repeat this process several times. You can always cut more later if you don't have enough, or recycle if you have too many. It's now time to make the paste. I'm going to dump 1 cup of flour into my mixing bowl. I'm then going to use the fork and break up any lumps I see in the flour. Try to get as many lumps out as possible. We don't want lumpy paste. Next, begin adding your 1 cup of water. Don't pour it all in at once though. Pour it in sections and stir as you go. When you see the water's pretty much absorbed, you can add a little more. Continue this process until you've mixed in all the water. Continue stirring to try to get out as many lumps as possible. Now go ahead and add your half tablespoon of salt. The salt helps prevent your project from molding. Mix the salt all in and try to get out those lumps. Now blow up your balloon. Securely tie the end so no air leaks out. If you need help, please ask a parent, guardian, or staff for help. This can be tricky. I'm now going to put my balloon on the base. This base will help it stand up when I start paper macheing and keep it off the table. It's now time to start paper macheing. For this, we're going to take one of the strips of newspaper and dip it into the bowl of paste. You'll see it gets a lot of paste on the strip and we don't want that much, so I'm going to use my fingers and scrape off the excess. I'm then going to take the strip and put it on the balloon, smoothing it down flat. I'm going to take the next strip of newspaper and do the same thing. It's important that before you start the paper mache step to cover your table in newspaper, because it will get messy. On my craft table here, I have an easy to clean tablecloth. That's why I didn't put down newspaper. But you definitely want to put newspaper down to protect your table. As you can see, the strips get a little heavy, so your balloon will want to tip over, and that's fine. You've got the base, so it won't be touching the table. You want to continue to put the newspaper strips all over the balloon, layering them slightly. You don't want to put too many in one area or overlap too many because then it'll be really hard for it to dry. As you can see, there's a space in the bottom here where I left an opening where I didn't paper mache. This will help me later take out the balloon and also finish up the project. You want to try to make the strips smooth, but it's impossible to get them absolutely smooth, and that's fine. You just want to try to make them as flat as possible. It also doesn't matter which way you lay your strips, side to side or up and down. As long as it covers the balloon, that's what you're looking for. Now continue to cover the entire balloon in the strips and remember to overlap them slightly. Now that the balloon is covered, we need to let it completely dry before adding our second layer. For this, I'm going to add some string to the top of the balloon and tie it in a secure knot. I'm then going to tie a loop at the other side of the string so I can easily hang it up outside to dry. Now you want to hang it up somewhere where it won't bump into anything else or touch other things. This is going to take several hours to dry before we can add our second layer of paper mache. This project does take some time, but I promise it's worth it. When the first layer is completely dry, we can go ahead and start the second layer. I'm using the same bowl of paste as earlier. I just stirred it up with a fork so it's ready to go. And I'm going to repeat the process we did for the first layer. I'm going to dip the newspaper strip in the paste, scrape off the excess, and put it on the balloon. When you've completely covered the balloon with a second layer, hang it up to dry like you did the first time. It will once again take several hours to dry completely. Now that the second layer is completely dry, we need to take out the balloon. To do this, I'm gently going to pull out a little bit of the balloon and then pinch a little bit together. When I have a little bit of the excess balloon in my fingers, I'm going to gently cut a little hole in the balloon. This can be tricky, so please ask a parent, guardian, or staff if you need help. Once enough air is let out of the balloon, you can gently pull it out of the hole. I'm now going to cut off about 2 inches of the bottom to give it a more ghostly shape. It is going to be a little tough to cut since there's 2 layers of newspaper, so if you need help, please ask for it. I'm now going to cut it some more so it won't just be straight across. You could either cut out some triangles going all the way around or do some wave patterns. I'm going to do a wave pattern to give it a little bit more of an organic ghost feel. So I'm going to cut this wave pattern going up and down all the way around the entire bottom of the ghost. It's now time to lay out the newspaper to protect the table from paint. I'm first going to paint my ghost completely white. Go ahead and put some of your white paint onto your paint plate. Now you want to start painting the entire outside of your ghost. Depending on the paint you use, you might need to put on a second coat of white paint. If this is the case, go ahead and let the first coat dry before adding the second coat. You want to try to make sure to cover all the newspaper so you don't see any of it through the paint. Here's a trick to more easily paint towards the bottom of the ghost. You can put your hand inside the hole and hold the ghost from the inside. This way you can easily turn the ghost as you paint it without getting any of the paint on the newspaper or letting the ghost touch the table. You can keep turning the ghost and painting it until the entire thing is covered. Once you're done painting, carefully slip out your hand and balance it upright on the hole. Now let it dry completely. When the ghost is dry, it's time to add the eyes and the mouth. This is where you'll want to use your smaller paintbrush. It'll give you more control when you're drawing the mouth and the eyes. Once again, the easiest way to paint is going to be putting your hand inside the hole to hold the ghost. Now I'm going to put a little bit of black paint onto my paint plate and get ready to paint the mouth and eyes. For both the eyes and mouth, I'm going to be doing basic ovals, but you can pick whatever shape you like. While I let the eyes and mouth completely dry, I'm going to go ahead and cut some streamers to attach to the bottom of the ghost. Now how long you cut them is up to you. You can do shorter streamers or longer streamers. I'm going to cut mine about 1.5 feet long. And since I want my streamers a little bit separated when I attach them, I've decided that 7 or 8 streamers will be enough. Now it's time to attach the streamers, and I'm going to do so by attaching them on the inside of the ghost. To do this, I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue on the end of one of the streamers. Then, turning it glue side down, I'm going to press it into the inside of the ghost. I want to make sure about 1 inch of the streamer is secured inside the ghost with glue. I'm going to repeat this process with the rest of the streamers. And as you secure more streamers on the inside, you can rotate the ghost to make it easier to glue the streamers inside. As a personal preference, I want a little space in between my streamers, so I'm going to secure them just a little bit apart on the inside of the ghost. When you've glued on all your streamers, go ahead and let it dry. I'm now going to get my ribbon ready that I'm going to hang my ghost up with. You can hang your ghost up with ribbon, string, or even yarn. It's up to you. I'm first going to fold the ribbon in half and make sure the ends are even at the end. This is about a 2-foot long strip of ribbon, but you can make it however long or short you want. I'm then going to tie a double knot at the end, making sure it's secure. I want the knot to be fat enough so it won't slip through the hole that I make in the ghost. I'm now going to find the center of the top of the ghost where I want to put my hole. As you can see, it's still kind of flimsy, so it's going to be hard to poke a straight hole through it. I'm going to stick my hand in the hole and spread it out like a spider, and then I'm going to gently start moving my scissors back and forth to make a hole. This step can be tricky, so please ask for help if you need it. And please remember to be really gentle with the scissors. You don't want to go too fast and go through and poke your hand. When I finally make the hole in the ghost, I can now add the ribbon. You want to make sure the hole's not too big because you want that knot that we put in the ribbon to not slip through. I'm going to work the ribbon through the hole with my fingers from the inside of the ghost. When I get the ribbon through the hole a little bit, I can then use my other hand to pull it through the rest of the way. And the final step is to hang it up and take a look at your cool Halloween decoration. I hope you have fun making your own spooky paper mache ghost, and thanks for watching!